So yeah, Drinks Reality Culture is what it's called because I wanted to deal with the two, just like you guys deal with the two, talking to the band. Like the two aspect is really your failures, you trying to get to your destiny, you trying to, achieve these goals and accomplish all these different things. But nobody talks about the in between from the visionary aspect to the reality aspect.
It's
And,
good, man.
the two is just really going through the trenches, you know what I'm saying? Getting calls for gigs and they not working out,
There
getting
you go.
calls,
Yeah.
or doing the gig and it just really not working out.
That's real
You don't
talk.
get a
That
call back.
grind, man.
All
Yeah.
That
the
grind.
grind,
It's
you
a
know what I'm saying?
journey,
Going,
man. It's a journey.
yeah.
Now let me ask you
Going,
something, man. You got something we can look at, man. You
yeah,
got it.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So this
Yeah.
is the Invest Me hoodie. Um, and this is it right here. And then
Great.
Yes.
you get the hood. The hood has a nice little quote saying on Invest Me by D2R Culture, to invest in yourself first, dedicate yourself to developing the personal bag, mentally, spiritually, physically, and financially. Allow nothing to get in the way of building your legacy. Your destiny depends on it. Your hunger and your passion will feed your purpose.
Dang,
So
man.
yeah,
Nice.
that's so
I love it. I love it.
it's just really invested in us. We have to take the time to do that, man. So that's what that particular collection boils down to, is just investing in self and just really getting to it and really getting focused and driving yourself to the place that I think a lot of times we forget that we are capable of getting ourselves to these different destinations. And if you just believe and then start investing, because a lot of people want to invest in you unless you invest in yourself.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right.
So
That's right.
when you put the bag in yourself, and an investor comes along and seeing that you put some work in and put some hard blood, sweat, and tears in it, they're investing in you. They're not going to invest in anybody that hasn't invested in themselves because they don't
Yeah.
have an appreciation for that bag.
That's real talk, bro. That's real talk. It's
Yeah,
beautiful,
yeah,
man.
yep.
Man, so Memphis, we got to call you Memphis, man. I know you have worked with Xavier Keys and did that project. Talk a little bit about that project, man, and how you were involved with it.
So Xavier Keys project really is me operating in the role as music director and drummer at the same time. So I am, I'm hiring a band. I'm hiring mixing engineers. I'm hiring playback engineers. Matter of fact, we had some hometown people that that was on that project with me. Carlos Woodard, he was the playback engineer.
Yep, close.
Yeah, Los came in. Actually, Aaron Williams, he mixed it for me.
Cool.
So yeah, so I'm operating from, I sat with that project with Xavier just like right next to him, like from the mixing to the video to the whole process, and just making sure everybody was taken care of, making sure everybody's in place, doing what they need to do, and just hiring a core great great musicians to work together that I know can get the job done. So it was a long process. We recorded that back in October. And then I don't think we dropped it until like February. So because we wanted to make sure it was right. We wanted to make sure, that it was polished and clean, and make sure he distributed what he felt comfortable with. So we had some ups and downs, but we made it through, man. But it was a fun project. The red wine experience, man. So it's crazy how all of that happened. Like how I met Xavier. It's crazy, but good brother,
How
good
did you meet
artist.
him? How did you meet him, man?
So it's in Chicago. It's a rehearsal facility called Music Garage, and so I'm actually walking in, getting ready to teach a class, and I see somebody that looks like one of my homies. I'm like, "Yo, what's up, bro? Like, where you been?" He looked like I don't know who you is, bro. So I was like, "Oh, my bad, man." You know what I'm saying? So we ended up chopping it up anyway, and I guess it was just a God sent situation, because he was like he'd never worked with a band before. Like he went to Atlanta and did a few shows with a
Oh
band, but
wow.
his own band. He's always toured with tracks. He's toured London, India with just tracks. So we started doing. Mark Hubbard has a next level showcase thing here in Chicago. So we did the first show with him, and he was just like, "Dude, I want to continue rocking with a band." So what we did was we made sure that show was arena ready. Made sure it was big, huge, with the big hits. If we needed to add pyrotechnics, we could, because it was just so. We just tried to make sure we set him up for a big show. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just how we met, man, and we've been brothers ever since. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of rocking. And just assisting him along the way and just making sure his vision come to life. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's really all about. Making sure the artist.
You know, when I listen to you, man, I go back, man, to when you, Daniel, DeAndre, Demoris. I'm sitting there going, man, all y'all came out at the same time in the same place, man. That is so crazy to me, man. What do you, I mean, all y'all bad, man. Every one of y'all, bad in your own right, man. Can you talk about that time, man?
Absolutely. That time of us, man, we spent a lot of time together. We spent a lot of time practicing together. I don't know if y'all know this, but Daniel was the one who kind of took me under his wing and like really dragged me through the mud. Like he was like, and it's funny how we met, because there's like it's this new guy in town. He's from Memphis, and he's like, oh yeah, and he heard me play, and I was probably like 15, 16, probably 17. He was like, yeah, I heard him play. He sucks. He was like, oh, he's terrible. So that's how I mean. So I end up, I was the type of kid at that time, like I didn't mind saying, hey, since I suck and all, man, help me. You know what I'm saying? I need some help. If I suck that bad, help me. So I challenged him in that area to help me. And then I spent time in his parents' garage, where he just, drilled a lot of information into me, sat there, made sure I got things right until I got it right, yelled at me, all type of stuff. So I went through the mud. So yeah, and then once Demoris came along, we started coming together and shedding and practicing. So we spent so much time together. So it was just a great organic, situation where we just, in order for us to stay out of trouble, because drums for me was for me to stay out of trouble. It was never a thing. I was not trying to pursue this as a career.
Yeah.
But it was just like, yo, let me do this instead. So I spent a lot of time at New Zion, at Providence, at the last church I was at when I was there was Faith Walker. So so we just spent so much time together, pushing each other and just dragging each other through the mud and really helping each other. So we had formed like this Drummers United for Christ situation where we would have clinics, and we even did some partnerships with Guitar Center and stuff like that. So we really spent a lot of time just really going through the mud, man, trying to figure this thing out as drummers,
That's so cool, man. I want to age, man, but Jerome is your dad, right?
Jerome Smith is my father.
Jerome Smith is your father. What's crazy, man? Jerome used to sing with my fathers in a quartet group, man.
What?
Yeah, man. Your dad used to sing with my dad in a quartet group, man.
And that's funny you say that. That man, he loves quartet.
That's what he sung, man, in a quartet group with my dad. That's how I met your dad, man. Yeah.
That's funny, man. That is funny.
Yeah,
man. Small world, boy.
Yeah, that's
very
crazy,
small,
man. Yeah.
Very small world. Very. He never told me that. I knew
that's
he
crazy, man.
Church.
You ask
I never
him.
knew he sang in the
Ask
group.
him, did he sing with the Sons of Jerusalem?
The Sons of Jerusalem. Yeah, that's funny. Oh man, that's hilarious. Oh yeah, wait till I talk to him, man. That's funny. Yeah,
man.
So
man, you had quite a journey, man.
Yeah.
What's your end game? What's the end game for you, man?
Yeah.
Man, the end game really is to make sure that my legacy is it's to a point where my kids don't have to worry about anything, you know. And that's the biggest legacy that I want to leave. I want to leave. I'm always talking about positivity. I've always drilled that because I feel like if God can turn this thing around for me and open some doors for me, I know He could do it for somebody else. So, you know, just really, really in pouring back into the youth and pouring back into, you know, it's hard. My thing is, it's harder to teach some of these grown folks how to do things, but I know if we can grab a few youngins and just you know, and pour back into them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm taking on this business venture, and I'm allowing God. I'm going to give God something to bless at the end of the day. So just making sure I'm putting out good energy in order for Him to bless something that's major, that's bigger than me. That's, you know, just to be a service to people. But my legacy is really just to be a service to people. Make sure my kids are set, and making sure my family is good, and making sure I make my family proud. That's you know, I've never tried to do this for fame or anything like that. This was really, this whole journey, drumming and all of that stuff, and it was really to make my family proud and show them like, yo, they know my story, so they know like, yo,
hey Memphis,
we proud of you.
Hey Memphis, can you tell us some of the people you work with, and who are some of the more challenging people to work with?
Let's see. So I worked with Todd Delaney like early in his career, like before Pulling Me Through came out. Like we recorded Pulling Me Through at Faith Walkers for the first time. So I worked with him earlier in his career. I've done some work with I actually worked with Ann Nesby when I was in Rockford. Paris Bennett, another Rockford native, worked with her. I worked with a young lady. We toured Australia by the name of Melody Angel. She's like a rock artist. Like she's like the female version of Jimi Hendrix.
Okay. Wow.
Wow. So yeah, Gina Vanier was on American Idol for a while. I did some dates with her. Jessica Love, which is another artist that comes under that Jamel Kimbrough, Todd Delaney umbrella. Mm-hmm. We actually got nominated for a Billboard for that record. Who else have I worked with? I've worked with so many different people. My thing is, I've never tried to stay in like one little genre. I always, you know, I'll step over into smooth jazz. I'll step over to hip hop, R&B for a minute, nice. Or I'll come back gospel, or you know what I'm saying. It's just I never wanted to limit myself to one genre. So you may see me overdoing like a smooth jazz situation, just trying to, you know, figure things out, and what works. You know what I'm saying, and whatever opportunities that I've gotten, they just been, you know, great opportunities for me to kind of flourish and kind of be a chameleon in those areas. I'm still learning to this day, though, nice. You know, how to maneuver and navigate.
Nice.
Yeah, it's real nice. Memphis, you I mean, with all the people you work with and travel with, you know, you also do some lessons or something like that. Yeah, I saw something on your page where you're teaching, man.
Yeah, so I started embracing teaching. I want to say roughly around 4 or 5 years ago. It was a drum store in Chicago that's no longer open anymore, called Vic's Drum Shop. So I started teaching under them. And once the pandemic kind of hit, I had contracts with LinkedIn, where you would go into like LinkedIn's office and teach their employees how to play drums.
Oh wow!
So in that really relaxed environment, you know, I got a chance to, you know, get some contracts with some pretty big companies to just go in and teach. So so I started my own online school. So as of now, I'm teaching specifically online. I'm doing virtual lessons. So I'll either do a live virtual lesson with you, or you get a pre-recorded lesson. And the name of that school is called Drum Culture Academy. And it's all virtual right now. Yeah, because I don't feel comfortable with, even though I miss sitting one-on-one in private lessons with my students. Yeah, we just had to learn how to adapt and evolve really fast in these times. So,
yeah, I hear you, man, because I ain't comfortable either just going out and playing.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I just ain't comfortable yet, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And my thing is, in order until we get this thing under control, I don't necessarily
I
feel
totally agree with
comfortable.
you.
I've turned down, hey, you want to do such and such? Nah, bro, you know what's going on outside? Nah, I'm straight.
Yeah, right,
I'm good.
man. It's for real too.
Right.
Yeah, and you know,
Absolutely.
and it hit my family really. It touched very close to home. My father, we almost lost my father to COVID. So you know, so that's a big thing. Like, you know, just taking all of that into consideration. You know, it's attacking healthy people. My dad had never been sick. My dad had never, you know, been hospitalized or nothing like that. So, it struck me. It punched me in the face because I was like, okay, this thing is real. I knew it was real, but it's really real when it's in your family, when it touches your family.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, man, tell me, you know, about you ever come back to Rockford? You spend much time in Rockford? Tell me about how we can get this thing back to when it was you, Daniel, the Rat Pack of drummers, man. Tell me, or let me ask you, are we there? Do you see some potential in Rockford right now that like you guys?
Oh, it's definitely potential. I've always noticed the potential. Like, so I do get a chance to come back. I actually come back pretty frequently because my son, he plays basketball there. So, you know, I'm there at his games and stuff. So I do get a chance to sit with like Evan, Stan Pennick's son. What's Keena Hightower's son name? I can't think of his name. I don't know why I can't think of his name right now. Zai, you know, guys like Zai. It's definitely potential. It's so many young, hungry musicians that are there. They just don't have. They didn't get that rough training and going through the mud like I did. You know, so a lot of the younger guys like, hey, that's too much for me. Nah, bro, this is what makes you, become better. If you want to achieve greatness, you know, you gotta go through those embarrassing moments. You gotta go through those moments where you feel you got that lump in your throat, where you feel like you're gonna cry, whatever. You know, you need that. That's what's gonna build you. So it's definitely potential there. I just want I want everybody to just embrace going through the mud. Like, I always use this saying, get comfortable, being uncomfortable.
That's right.
Because if you're comfortable, you're gonna be walking around here thinking you're sweet, but you ain't. You know what I'm saying? You be walking around here. And then when you get, because I went through it, I thought I was sweet, and I got to Chicago, and they was like, "Boy, what are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Like, no, so you're gonna embrace mediocrity, or you're gonna embrace greatness. Which one do you? It's a choice. And if you're gonna embrace greatness, just be ready to go through the mud. Like, just be ready. And then if you're gonna embrace the mediocrity part of it, which I don't recommend, you might as well just go sit and do this at the end of the day, because you're gonna get left behind. Trying to fake it, but
I hear you.
Hey, but it's definitely tons of potential.
Man, let me ask you a question, man. What do you think about that Earth, Wind and Fire and Isley Brothers versus, man?
I knew it was coming. I knew that was coming.
I gotta ask you, man.
I was at home grooving so hard. Hey, man, so many classics, so many timeless classics. You know, this music burns out really fast. But their music, Isley Brothers, those things last. Those are songs that have substance. And then you got you put the struggle and what was going on during those times into that music. That was just pure, passionate music, man. And they did it the right way. But I enjoyed myself. Other than Steve Harvey getting on my nerves, everything was perfect, man.
Let me ask you. how do you compare? Do you compare songwriting then to now? How do you compare that?
I do compare it to, because I feel like how the music industry has kind of shifted gears. It's everybody can get on now. It's easy for everybody to get on. So you can have a nice little hook, throw some auto tune and some compression, and make it radio play. But that music, man, back then it had so much substance, and it had struggle and adversity in that music, and it was created to have a good time and feel good. The music, not to sound like an old head or anything like this music now, it kind of, sometimes I'd be like, yo, what's going on here? But though that music, man, it stands the test of times, and the song, like, it's good, it's great songwriters out there right now, trust me. Not knocking them at all. Like, it's some great stuff out there. I listen to a lot of stuff like Lucky Day. I go back and listen to the Prince stuff. I go back and listen to the Aretha Franklin and all that stuff, because those are, when you get called for certain situations, like a corporate band situation, you're not gonna play a lot of this new stuff. They're gonna go back and dig into the 70s, 80s, early 90s, and because those were that was good music, right? And people danced to that stuff. What I'm saying? People moved to it. So yeah, it's definitely a difference, but I appreciate the old stuff any day, man. Like, no cap at all. Like,
I was surprised myself at how many people, man, young people, man, looked at it and loved it, man. How many, I just thought, man, I was elated, man. I was elated.
Man, you had like a billion. You had like a billion people watching that, man.
That's crazy in itself,
all these different countries, man. It was
watching this guy, man. Yeah,
that was definitely a moment where they broke the internet for sure.
Golly, man. Yeah.
It was a big moment.
Wow.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Cedric, I know you're Earth, Wind, and Fire fan, but let me just tell you, man, it would have been different. I think it's still been alive. I think it would have been a much different outcome.
No doubt. That's no doubt right there.
Oh my God.
See, people don't want to. People want.
Great.
That's the elephant in the room right there. That's the elephant in the room. People don't want to admit that.
Yeah, and Bertie had his bass guitar.
Yeah. It'd have been a different outcome. It'd have been a different outcome right there. Yeah,
it'd been a different outcome.
Yeah.
Man,
Ernie wouldn't have had that coat on for so long. No, Ronald wouldn't have had that coat on for so long. He'd have took that coat off earlier.
The first intro, it would have been off. Yeah, no, that definitely. Oh yeah, that I didn't even think about like that. If that was like with both live bands, like that would have been crazy.
Oh God, man, yeah.
Sonny Emery on drums.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
Come on, man. Like, that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
Iconic for sure.
Well,
I would have loved to.
They're talking about going on a 20-day tour with Earth, Wind, and Fire, Isley Brothers and Steve Harvey. That'd be a bomb tour, man.
Really?
That'd be a bomb tour.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. Sure. They got my money already. Like, I'm there. I'm there. Definitely.
But you're Memphis, man. What you playing on right now, man? What kind of rig you using, man?
Man, I'm playing Pearl Masters right now.
Nice.
Pearl Masters. I don't know if you've seen any of the footage from Xavier's show, but the green sparkle. Pearl Masters. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, those are my babies right now. I used to be a DW head. I still love. Matter of fact, me and Steve, we were just talking about this. Steve was the only brother in Rockford with a DW kit. And I was just trying to figure out how in the world am I gonna save up $5,000 to buy some DW's collector series. Like,
man, you tuned them for me, man. You was when I first got it, remember?
I was.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what? My tuning back then was terrible. So I know I didn't do those drums no justice then. I probably
I had to get a retool. You're right.
I'm sure you did.
Wow.
I'm sure you did, because my tuning skills back then, that's probably been over 20 years. So no, I know you had to get them retuned. And did you have Evans heads on there?
Sure did. Yep.
That's why you had to get them retuned, because you had Evans on there. Now, we would have put some Remos on there.
You know what I did? I had the Evans on, and I went back and I bought the Remos. So I changed the heads out. I did change them out.
Yeah.
I
think at that time I was dealing with Evans, but I've been Remo. I've been Remo and Vic First Sticks, and now it's just Pearl Masters right now, man. Those drums sing like, and they're easy to tune. And they just, man, I love them. And I was trying to make a transition, because I was really rocking with, when I would go out, I always put DW on the rider, because they just take the beating. They take the beating and they're easy to tune. And then so I started rocking with Pearl more. Pearl was like my first love anyway, because Dennis Chambers played Pearl. You know what I'm saying? That was our drum hero. Like Daniel, he liked the Yamaha because Dave Weckl played Yamaha, or and I just was like, no, those drums are not cutting it. But don't get me wrong, Yamaha has some great stuff. But Pearl has been my thing, for now, just the durability, the look, because my thing is, I always tell younger guys too, like, investing in a good kit that's going to look good on stage. Your presentation is everything, you know what I'm saying, when you're on different tours or different gigs and stuff like that. So presentation and how you set your stuff up, I'm still working on my presentation to this day, but those drums just look good and they sound good.
Yeah. We gotta give a big shout out to Aaron Williams.
Man.
Tanan,
Aaron,
Graham, Bennett.
Tanan.
We got a big shout out to them, man.
All these drummers, man. Good grief, man.
I think they all tuning in, checking you out today, bro.
Yeah. Memphis.
Oh man, that's dope. That's crazy. Like, Aaron Williams he's like a man. When I was thinking about leaving, I actually had a conversation with him and like, hey man, when did you know when it was time to go? And he really gave me the advice that I needed to go ahead and step out on faith. And I'm like, for anybody to give you some advice and some good advice, because there's people out here giving really bad advice.
That's right.
Right.
Y'all got to stop giving bad advice and sending people off. But like, when I asked him for that advice, man, he asked me some questions. What's your goals? What are you trying to do? And I was just like, man, I really want to do this thing, but I feel like I'm in a box. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be. I don't want to be somewhere where I feel like I'm really striving, but I'm not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So once you reach that ceiling, I always tell people like, hey, you got to make that move. But man, shout out to Aaron, because he gave me some great advice. He gave me some tips and tools that I still stick with me to this day, to keep going and keep pushing. Hey, because it's a journey that never ends at the end of the day,
Right. Hey man, what would you say to the audience, man, to pass that information down? What do you say to aspiring drummers in Rockford, man, to get where you're going, man, get where you're at?
That's good,
man. Really, man, just really embracing what it really takes. Embracing your journey, because I think what happens is we get lost in looking at what everybody else is doing and comparing and contrasting. And what happens is when you begin to compare, you automatically kind of eliminate or kind of dilute your dream, because you're looking at what somebody else is doing, but their journey is totally different. God has a totally different journey for you. So I would say, first embrace your sound. And I always say, study yourself as well, because you have some great things that you have for yourself that you're diluting yourself because you're looking at what somebody else is doing. But it's nothing wrong with taking and learning things from other people, but put your own twist to it. So I always say, finding your identity, and embracing being confident, because once you embrace your identity, study it, and then show yourself approved. Some people might not get it at first. Like, why is he playing that? Why is he playing it like that? But once it matures, you got to go through that maturity stage where
that's good.
You build yourself. So I always say, and you know, study yourself, embrace your identity, build your confidence, and the next thing is to not be fearful. You know, fear is an illusion, and I think we think fear is something that really, you know, it dangles in our face, but it's like, you know, it's an illusion. And I feel like once you know that God got you, and you know, man, look, he gave me a few little opportunities to go and do some things. So like I said, I know if he can do it for me, do it for a little knucklehead like me, you know what I'm saying, at the time, you know, I just thank God that I was able to you know, do some things and achieve some things and come back and share some stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but it's like, you know, that's why you keep pushing, you know what I'm saying? I always have this thing like, I ain't did nothing, you know.
That's right. That's good.
I always have to humble myself.
Yeah,
like,
that's right. That's
boy,
good.
chill out.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you think that's it, that you think that's all that God has for you, and you shortchanging yourself.
That's right.
You looking at God and slapping him in the face. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So, you know, whatever you subscribe to, you know, we all have, you know, different journeys that we take, but you know, faith is a universal thing, and you know,
absolutely.
And then once we apply it and eliminate fear, man, you can climb some mountains, man. You can get over some hills, and you can get through the valleys. But you got to go through those things and embrace it. Get comfortable being uncomfortable at the end of the day.
That's beautiful.
And, you know, Memphis, you seem to have a little bit of both, you know, music and entrepreneurial type of spirit, you know, business wise.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd that come from, man? Like, you know, I hear a lot of that in you, the business aspect. I hear more of that than just the music. So, like, where's that coming from?
That's, man, really. Well, I come from a long line of just grinders. My grandfather was he was a carpenter. He built, you know, he was building houses. I come from that. My grandfather on my father's side, man, he owned land, cattle, all of that stuff. You know
good,
what I'm saying?
Man.
He was the guy when other guys would be ready to lose their land and and owe money and taxes with land, he would go buy them out. So once I'm like, man, how is he doing that? I'm like, because he's a boss. That's it. Yeah. He's able to go buy people. You know, if you in trouble with your taxes, he was able to buy you out. So I always wanted to know, like, you know, that you know, because whether y'all know it or not, as much as if I look like a city boy, I'm really a country boy at heart. I'm originally from Memphis, and I spent time in Ashland, Mississippi, and I spent a lot of time in LaGrange, Grand Junction, Mississippi.
That's what's up. The Delta, man.
Where I had to get up early in the morning.
That's what's up.
Go get eggs out the chicken coop. I had to pick, you know, I had that work ethic was already, you know, instilled in me. It wasn't no laying around when I was at home. Like, you got up and you worked. And I'm a country boy, you know what I'm saying?
So you authentic, then. You authentic country.
Yeah, that's
look, don't let the city stuff fool you. I'm really like, my aunties and stuff will tell you, like, my first drum set was not a drum set. It was some sticks and a barbecue grill. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get my first drum set till I was 18. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So you know, other than as far as practicing and stuff, I had to improvise, you know what I'm saying? And I saved my own money, bought my own drums at 18. Because it wasn't a guitar center in Rockford at the time. I had to go to Arlington Heights to get my drums.
Yeah.
So country boy. I mean, I was driving tractors, you know, I drive like, I can get in a stick shift and drive a stick shift if I need to, you know what I'm saying? So those, man, those things really pushed me and gave me work ethic, you know what I'm saying? On the hard working side and the domestic side. I can get in the kitchen, cook if I need to, you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because
talking now.
I learned a lot of values from just being in the country. I hated it then, but now I appreciate those things. I didn't know that all those things would come together and give you great survival skills.
That's good.
That's real good. Yeah, Memphis. I just really admire you, man, and have a lot of respect for you.
Oh man,
we had to have you come on the show and do it with us, man. Because
thanks for having me, man. For real,
you really one of these cats that is what the show is all about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You started and you really worked at it, and you mastered your discipline and plan. And man, bro,
proud of you, brother.
I'm still working, man. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it, man. Like
I tell you, man, you're doing it. You're doing it great.
I love to see like guys, like especially like DeAndre. DeAndre is my little brother, and he don't like to be called little brother, but he is my little brother. He's like I came up under his father. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
that's wild. That's real wild.
So so at Jerusalem when I transitioned to Rockford, that was the drummer that I was looking at. So and then seeing DeAndre sprout up and just be doing his thing, that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? It can be so many more coming out of that area.
That's right.
To be on major gigs, major tours. You don't have to settle for, of course you got to go through those seasons, but man, it's room for everybody. It's room for everybody to get to their destiny, man.
That's good.
So who do you listen to? Like as a drummer, name me some drummers that you really look to and for their skills and their talent.
Man, to be honest with you, Lord rest his soul, Kahari Parker was one of my biggest inspirations. We lost him a little bit less than a year ago. So that was who I studied. Before I kind of like fell in love with the Kahari, it was Rexel Hardy for me at one point in time. It was like Kahari, Rex, Calvin, Dave Weckl, Sonny Emery.
Oh yeah.
Who else? The list goes on and on. But those were the guys. Like Rex was the one who kind of inspired me to get. I was attracted to like programming shows, programming the drums for just different things, even if it was for church. Like we wanted church to sound like a concert, like a show.
Yeah. So,
at Faith Walkers, that's why I got a chance to kind of like, let's create this big sound in church. So yeah, Rex Hardy, all those guys, like Chris Miskell, the guys that's like holding down the smooth jazz scene, the guys that's doing and I listen to the younger guys too. I listen to DeAndre. I listen to Zion. I listen to, these people that can take your job at any moment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm listening. I'm also just listening to just music in general. I may just listen to country. Music is the best teacher. It might not necessarily be the drummer, but the music will actually teach you the lesson. It'll teach you how to navigate through the music. You know what I'm saying? And when I listen to music,
Calvin, don't he play with the Isley Brothers?
Yeah, Calvin plays with Ron Isley. Yep.
With Ron Isley, yeah. Okay, I saw him. He's really, really good.
Oh yeah. That was like that's who we listened to. Like I'm 36 now. So that's who we had to listen to in this area. And of course you listen to, the other greats and stuff, but the things that were closest and tangible for us, we can go to Chicago and see Calvin, or you might see Calvin, and you might have saw Calvin and Rockford with Aaron or somebody, or Steve Goldsmith. They were bringing those guys in, so we got a chance to see them up close and personal. But just listening to music, but Kahari, man, that's my heart. That's where. And then of course I listened to Daniel. Daniel taught me a lot. He kind of like shaped and molded my identity. And then once I got mature enough, then I drifted off, you know what I'm saying? And kind of start doing my own research and learning who, you know, reading album credits, because we don't even get album credits no more. So
that's right.
So I just listen to music overall, man. I just have a love and passion for it because first and foremost, it kept me out of trouble. You know,
I know that's right.
It kept me out of a lot of trouble. Yeah. So,
well, man, yeah. And, you know, I'm so proud of y'all, man. You know, y'all came out of Rockford, and I know it's more come out of. I always say this, man. Rockford got some of the best talent it always has, man. So, man, good luck to you in the future, man. You know,
yes.
Good luck to your future,
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate
that. Go ahead.
No, and I just want to, you know, commend you guys for creating this platform for people to know what's going on, because, you know, they see the show, but I know it takes a lot of work and a lot of energy to set these things up and get people and gather people, because we were trying to do this once before with Xavier and it just didn't work out. But yeah, I just commend you guys for just creating this platform so people can know what's going on, to educate people and let people know what's happening. And I'm all for it. I salute you guys and what you're doing. Love it for sure.
Our pleasure, bro.
Much love to you too, bro.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And before we close this out, Aaron, I want to give you this opportunity. It might be some artists out there that want to get in touch with you, book you for a gig or a show. How can they do that, man? Where can they find you?
I'm not hard to find at all, man. You can find me Facebook, Aaron Memphis Smith, Instagram, Aaron _Memphis_Smith, or you can message me, and then we can go from there. Like it's not hard at all. Just reach out, and then if you got any ideas and things like that that you got some concepts and stuff that you wanna you know.
Man, cool, bro. Also, them hoodies, man. Hold it up one more time.
One more time, Memphis.
Yeah. How can they get one, man? Let them know.
You can actually you can go to our website, which is dreams2rculture.com. Dreams 2 eyes R culture.com, and you can follow us on. We're on Facebook as well. Dreams to Reality Culture on Facebook. Dreams to Reality Clothing on Instagram. So yeah, and we get ready to do a pop-up June 19th in Chicago, and we're gonna give it back to just Black businesses. We want to, beautiful. You know, we're Black owned business, so we're trying to, you know, introduce ourselves to the community, because it's a lot of clothing lines. You know, it's an oversaturated market, so it's kind of, you know, it's kind of hard to stand out. So we're just trying to work on different things and different concepts. So our pop-up is Juneteenth. I'll send you guys an invite, you know, so you can repost it or whatever, and keep y'all posted. But yeah, man, that's what's going on, man. I'm embracing the business side of things and just trying to go even higher, man. Go through the trenches and through the mud.
Memphis, it's certainly been a pleasure, man, having you on the show, bro.
Y'all heard it, y'all. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, man. Love you guys.
Yes,
our pleasure, bro.
Love you too, man. And everybody wants to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Steven Cedric talking to the band with our main man, Memphis.
Yep.
Memphis.
Yourself,
man.